An Omaha police officer was injured after an incident involving a suspect at Bergan Mercy Hospital a few hours ago. Lauren Taylor joins us now over at the 6 on Your Side alert desk with those details. Lauren, good afternoon.
Dave, good afternoon. Police tell 6 News that they had to tase the suspect inside the hospital today. Cameron Craddock is 28 years old, and he was in custody but at Bergan receiving an evaluation when police say he attempted to escape and run from officers after his exam concluded. An officer received minor injuries in the scuffle with Craddock, who was in custody for an incident that happened last night. Now, according to Omaha Police, officers were called to the La Quinta near 104th and Old Maple Road for a civilian who had tracked stolen AirPods to a Jeep Grand Cherokee in the parking lot. The driver fled, and OPD's Able 1 helicopter picked it up near 132nd and Blondo. Officers eventually stopped the Jeep near 147th and Maple. 2 people ran from the car and were quickly detained. Both were taken to a hospital for medical evaluations. Now, Craddock was booked for flight to avoid arrest, theft, and obstruction, among other charges. His passenger, Candace Walker, who is 38, had a warrant out for her arrest for shoplifting, and the injured officer is expected to be okay. From the 6 on Your Side alert desk, I'm Lauren Taylor. Dave, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Lauren, thanks.